Hi everyone, welcome to PFA Color Suite. Today, we received a very good comment from the YouTube yesterday talking about the film print iteration. They love it. But on top of that, let's look at the comment, which is the film print are amazing. Could you add film negative stocks? And that really brings us to the tradition of making film prints. So it's actually a two-step process. First is the camera negative. Second step is the film print to simulate the entire physics of film development. Our team really listens for exciting features and we bring it into our suite. PFA Color Suite also has fully transformed to an AI color grading pipeline assistant. It speeds up so much of workflow. So let's take a look. So we have 5 shots here. So first, let's look at what we have done here. So for correction print now is a 2-stage. We have film negative and film print. So basically when you receive any footage, you have transformed your life forever. There is no need to find color space transform or LUTs at all. And it's future proof. You can use correction log, increase the AI influence. Immediately you will convert the log profile to red sample 9. At the same time, stripping away all the manufacturer default saturation. Next, you can go to correction exposure, one click, settle the correction exposure, and at the same time, correction white balance to set the foundation. So we get a perfect starting point. And right here, we can enable film emulation. And here is where it has the film negative, where you can choose exactly what kind of film negative you want it to be. If you increase negative intensity to the max, this is how it look like, just like professional film print. So we simulate the entire physics process into 32-bit float math. It's not LUT, guys. This is pure mathematical conversion. LUTs conform your colors. 32-bit float is altogether 6 billion colors. The 10-bit file I have is only 1 billion. It's future-proofing all cameras and standards in the future, okay? So now we can change maybe Vision 3 or Vision 500T and reset to 0.5. You get a different kind of look and texture depending on really what you want. And for film print, it's the second step where you're actually creating, converting and printing the entire film emulation. So where you can choose Kodak, actually bracket them and introduce what they are famous for. For Kodak 2383 is the vision color, and for Fuji 3521 is a modern clinical, so you know exactly what this film stock means. And once you're done, you can increase the print intensity, you can increase the subtractive density and balance out with your exposure offset, and instantly you get a very pleasing result. You can filter through all the different options. You can even go to different combination of Kodak Vision combined with Fuji 3521, and this give me a very nice foundation. Look at what we have done. We have converted a log or full film pipeline. So from here onwards, that's why it's called correction print. You have finished the correction stage of returning your footage from digital video to film print. Next, go to primary color grading, which consists of 3 tools. So we can go to film spectral contrast. We can grade with AI, or we can manually tweak all the red contrast. Just look at how crazy this works. When I increase the red contrast, look at how it inject the colors so naturally into the frame, because it's the sensor level of extraction of colors that natively in your sensor. All the color info in your camera file, be it RAW, be it log, be it 8-bit, this is non-destructive process. Everything you see is 32-bit float math. Then we can increase the green contrast a little. Look at how well we introduce and fix the skin tone, plus at the same time add the necessary color to the frame. We can increase it even further to get an even nicer image. And here, I would say honestly, it's really outstanding. And we can go to film tonal curve. This is where you build the film curve. You can increase the black point. You can increase the shadow softness. And you can lower the white point. You can increase the highlight roll off to get an even nicer filmic curve. And that sets the very nice foundation. And you can go down to color density. This is where you are really bringing the organic film subtractive signs into the saturation. As I add more saturation, global density, look like what happens. When I add more saturation to the frame, they actually gets richer without brightening my image. And that is the secret. And you can bring down to channel level or transitions. For example, I look at cyan mask, I can increase the cyan density. Look at how that instantly pops the background against my subject. And that instantly creates the color is not even there, but it's extracting all the color data in your 10-bit file to get the 1 billion color out, to stress them to the limit. No matter how much you push, you won't see any degradation artifacts in the image at all, because every single tool is 32-bit float math. Next, we can go to color scheme. This is a skin tone map where exactly you are deciding how to fix your skin, because when you turn on the map, the whole entire color will divide into orange, yellow and blue. Orange is perfectly aligned with the background skin tone line. So now it's perfectly aligned. What I need to do is I want the skin to be fairer or I want the skin to be deeper. It's totally up to me. I can of course go back to color density, increase the red density a little, and to pop the image even more. Imagine this is a very neutral shot, will bring so much vibrance, so much colors into the frame without breaking the image. That's just like a dream coming true, alright? Next, the tertiary color grading is all about building the palette. So we have film mixer, film separation, and printer lights. Here you can use the teal and orange to build a teal and orange palette, or you can use teal and pink to build a teal and pink palette. For here, maybe a bit of teal and orange. I'm pretty much very happy with the result. I can go down to film printer lights. This is where it's injecting colors in the atmospheric kind of standard. But it's very good for you to match different time of the day of the shot, shoot in different time of the day, or you want to create a vintage vibe. So I just need to add green a little, add yellow a little. When you turn on the show correction mask, it's adding only to those white areas. So it's like three-dimensional injection of color without interfering the overall image. And look at the grade here. This is a before, this is after. For interview shots, this is sufficient enough, right? So to test how good the grade is, we can copy the entire grade, go to next shot, copy. Look at how well everything just works and stays. The teal and orange, everything palette is in the cyan is working flawlessly. That's absolutely stunning, right? Look at this shot. Next, we want to talk about some other tools. For example, we haven't talked really about film texture. So let's look at film texture. To answer one of our subscribers, he asked about film texture every single video. So now we are looking at film texture. So to prove how good our film texture is, we start with grain. So when you add grain, you will see a very nice, you can control the grain size. The real game breaker is the tonal range response. At the shadow, mid-tone, and highlight, in traditional film stocks, they react chemically and react to lighting differently. So here, we recreate the physics of it. So you can control, I don't want any of my skin tone to have grain, so I can lower the mid-tone response. So the grain is only found in the shadow and the highlight. So that sort of bring the integrity to the shots. It's three-dimensional grain system. Next, let's talk about the new Vignette system. When you click Vignette, it creates a very nice angle. At the same time, the optical fall off. You can easily control how you want the vignette to be and the angle it is. So that's how powerful it is. Next, we talk about sharpen. Sharpen is really something we spend thousands of dollars trying to get the sharpness right. Just look at the difference. When I increase the sharpen strength and sharpen radius, look at what happens to the face, to the eye especially. When I turn on sharpen, turn off sharpen, it creates a non-edge sharpening. You know, usually when you use sharpening, you always create that glow around it. Look at how this extracted color, and at the same time to only apply sharpen to the less sharp areas. This creates the $3,000 G Master Prime kind of quality of sharpening without you even noticing as much. So that is the organic sharpening, and on top of this, you can still play back at full speed, even at full 4K. That's how insane it is. And for halation, of course, you can control the threshold, you can control the spread, you can control the dye transmission. Basically, you get the physics level of halation. But halation is only applying at the highlight. Sometimes I don't like how it looks. So bloom wise, same. You reduce the threshold and you increase the energy. Look at how nice the bloom is. So you can reduce the threshold, so you only apply to those areas to create the dreaming look of it. That's how insane this toolkit is. Swirly Bokeh, on the other hand, it creates that very nice organic swirly bokeh at the corners. Look at how well that stays. Alright, so that's all for this episode. So you look at the whole suite of the 14.1, we have revamped so much of the system and it's so powerful right now. So now, for example, I like this grade, I can save it as an AI training. I can go to next shot, I can generate a look based on the learning that you condense. So you can create different variations based on what I produced previously, and it will just work because you actually learn the system. I can change the film look intensity, of course, to change how strong I want the look to be. 18 tools that build at one suite and only with one node. So that's how powerful this whole entire idea is. Okay, that's all for this episode. I hope you understand how this single tool can transform your entire journey in color grading. One tool, one node is enough to do all. So you can try out the free trial, which is on 11.3, and the official licensed version is 13.3. 14.1 will release in 1 month's time after with the debugging and stabilizing this version. Then we'll release it around 1st August. So that's all for this episode. Try out, you love it. You can use Thank You 26 for almost 50% off. Okay, my name is Nash, Passion, Fuse, and Vision. I will see you the next time.